So for me, it's a very personal thing. For me, Shinti Sai Baba, Jesus, Haji Malang, all the Sufi saints, Moinuddin Chishti, everybody is either a Buddha or a Bodhisattva.
Yes.
For me, personally.
Can you repeat that?
For me, all the saints which people worship sometimes even as gods and deities, Jesus, Sai Baba, Muhammad, whatever, name all these saints who have been genuinely saints. For me, they were either Buddhas or Bodhisattvas who taught just as this Buddha taught, saying, I teach according to the capacity of the people, to the time, to their society, and to their needs and ability and their aspirations. I use skillful means to bring the Buddha wisdom to them. All these prophets and sages whom we consider saints and whom different people get into cults and all, they were all doing the same thing, using skillful means to bring Buddha wisdom, that is to say bring compassion, loving kindness, all the positives of all religions, to the people to whom they were teaching. So if Muhammad was teaching to barbaric Arab tribes who were fighting with each other all the time, totally patriarchal, he was teaching through skillful means, taking them from that level of consciousness to a much higher level.
So then the differences in form and dogma, only skillful means expressed according to the social context.
Yes, so the ultimate teaching of the Buddha is all this is skillful means. Chanting is skillful means, meditation is skillful means. This is the raft we use to cross the river of samsara. When you cross the river, you don't put the raft on your shoulder and start walking with it. You abandon it.
But then we tend to make an idol of the upaya.
Yeah, that you mistake the means for the end. So I'll tell you a story. So for instance, there was this...
Just to make sure that I've understood.
Yeah.
So the phenomenon of the crucifixion, the causation of it within this model would be the level of consciousness of the Pontius Pilate and the Romans.
That's what they were doing. They were crucifying all criminals. Jesus was crucified between two criminals, no?
Understood.
So now the thing is, so there is this great teacher who has his disciples, and every evening they do a puja in his little house. And all the people come and they do the puja according to their faith, light the lamp, put the flower, do the chanting, whatever recitation. So, couple of occasions, his pet cat came and knocked the lamp down. Cat is running about the lamp goes. So then the people decided, and the master also said, look, before we start the puja, look for the cat, put her outside, close the door. So this doesn't keep disturbing us, Then for years and years, the master lived and they did the puja and the cat had to be put out. Then the master died, and after a few days the cat died. And so the next master came, the successor whom he had appointed. And so for the first time they had to do the puja. So they were about to start the puja. And somebody said, no, we can't do the puja without putting the cat out. So they went to find the cat, so that they thought that putting a cat out was part of the ritual. So they had to first find the cat so that they could start the ritual. So this is what happens. Okay? Or like if you say, you're trying to teach somebody how to do cycling. Now they're just very sleepy. But they say, no, early morning to go cycling, I find, but the very fact that it's early morning, I'm still sleepy, I feel very shaky, So the teacher, the person who is teaching, he said, okay, why don't you have a strong cup of coffee, The coffee will wake you up, then you go cycling, to learn cycling. So then that person, when he becomes an expert and teaches cycling, he says, drink a cup of coffee first and then go for cycling. So now it becomes a rule. If you have to learn cycling, you must have a cup of coffee first, otherwise you can't learn cycling. So this is how skillful means become rituals. And then in an end in itself, the cat becomes almost the object of worship, where she was a nuisance and had to be thrown out.
And then the skillful means become a sort of boundary marker for different religious communities.
Yes, and then what happens is, people attachment, grasping. They attach themselves to certain skillful means. Then comes the whole thing. My means, Hinduism is the best religion. Christianity, you can only be saved through Jesus. Because then you are attached to the skillful means and you now start fighting over skillful means. Not just mistake the end, means for the end, but you make the means an end, and then you make it the only end and the only best end which is for everybody. It's very okay for me to say, for me, the best practice is the practice of the Lotus Sutra. And I'm not giving an example, I'm saying it. But for me to say, Lotus Sutra is the best practice and so all of you should practice it is totally un-Buddhist. That is the point.